Greetings, programs, and happy Halloween. It's time to talk about the bills, the reconciliation and bipartisan bills that the Democrats are trying to shove through Congress right now. Damn it. I've dreaded doing this rant and have been consciously putting it off as long as possible. Not because I don't think it's important, because it is, but for several reasons. One, it's not over. Every day it seems another provision falls out of the reconciliation bill or gets hacked down to the point that it's not even worth keeping it in there anyway. The $3.5 trillion over 10 years was already a joke, and what they've got now is just an insult. But wait, it'll get worse, I'm sure. Two, the topic has already been covered thoroughly by people far more knowledgeable and eloquent than I am. It feels like I'm just piling on or paraphrasing the works of those much more qualified than I to speak on this issue. And three, the issue itself is infuriating. I feel like I shouldn't just be talking about it. I should be yelling and throwing furniture and hurling expletives in every direction at the top of my lungs. I don't like that feeling, and so this is by far the most uncomfortable rant I've done so far. If you get the impression I'm leaving out a lot of stuff, that's probably because I am. Specifically to get this over with as soon as possible. I'm not going to spend time on the details of the bills themselves because that information is widely accessible, and as I said, they've already been covered and will continue to be covered by Jimmy Dore and other people. Here's the thing that enrages me the most about this whole situation. What further proof do people need that the Democrats are never ever going to be a solution to our problems? They're just one half of the wholly corrupted duopoly that doesn't exist to represent America's citizens. They exist to extract wealth for their shareholders, also known as big money donors. Their oppositions to each other are performative at best and limited to things that will not in any way fundamentally reform a damn thing. Continuing to believe their lies and vote for them is giving your approval to the exploitation of not just ourselves, but the entire world. In case you haven't noticed, we live in a military-enforced empire that spans the planet. We maintain hundreds of military bases in countries around the world, so how can you think that's for peace? Especially when we can and do invade sovereign nations at will and then occupy them for literally decades. Not to mention the undeclared wars in which we plan, fund, and help enact coups or strangle entire societies with blockades and sanctions. We don't do these things for defense, or even more laughably, for the benefit of the very civilians under our boot. We do them to protect markets, exploit resources, crush any resistance to our global hegemony, and manufacture support for a malicious narrative that only predatory capitalism can function as a basis for civilization. Both halves of the duopoly are fully invested in America's dominionist philosophy. Both of them. Now does it start to make more sense that Democrats, even when they control the presidency, the Senate, and the House of Representatives, still can enact any reforms that the vast majority of voters support? Because it's not about what voters want. None of it. They don't care. At all. If they say they care, they're lying to you. If they claim to support something that would benefit people instead of the wealthy and corporations, they are pretending. It's absurdist theater of the cringiest kind. Our so-called representatives are in their positions to serve the oligarchs and secure their own fortunes, either by direct donations or passing through the revolving door of industry or lobbying when their time in office is over. Speaking fees and book deals are also a popular way to launder payoffs and bribes, but we all know what they're really for. And don't get me started on the insider trading while they're getting all those secret briefings and reports about events that will move markets. The point being, Democrats aren't merely unwilling participants in this system. They aren't the good guys fighting valiantly to clean up a dirty political town. They are and have been the architects of much that is wrong with the system. Joe infamously brags that he wrote the damn bill, as if that were anything but a source of shame if he only had enough humanity to feel something like shame. There are no progressives in Congress. There are only careerist, establishment-in-waiting frauds who callously use the trappings and language of progressivism to lure people back into the wholly corrupt Democrat Party. Stop expecting them to do good things. That's not why they are in the positions they have. Stop falling for their traps and lies. Their primary goal is to prevent you from seeking resolutions elsewhere. You think what they did to the reconciliation bill sucks? Wake the hell up. It was always going to be horrible because they want it to be horrible. Everything leading up to this moment has been a charade, a performance. The bill is exactly what they wanted it to be all along. They aren't stupid or weak or powerless or gullible. They are sociopaths. Never forget that. But they absolutely need some things to continue doing their despicable jobs with impunity. They need you to keep voting for them and defending them and believing them. Stop doing those things and watch how quickly their masks come off. I dare you. Until next time, be excellent to each other.